Hi, morning. So today lesson we're going to talk about Adam and Eve and choices and consequences. All right. So this will be in Genesis 2. Last time we talked about creation and being created in the image of God. And this morning we're going to be talking about Adam and Eve, the choices they made, and the consequences. All right. At the time God made earth and heaven, before any grasses or shrubs had sprouted from the ground, God hadn't yet sent rain on earth, not as there was anyone, nor was there anyone around to work the ground. The whole earth was watered by underground springs. God formed man out of dirt from the ground and blew into his nostrils the breath of life. The man came alive, a living soul. That was Adam. Then God planted a garden in Eden in the east. He put the man he just made in it. God made all kinds of trees grow from the ground, trees beautiful to look at and to eat. The tree of life was in the middle of the garden, also the tree of knowledge of good and evil. A river flows out of Eden to the water garden, and from there divides into 4 rivers. The first is named Bashan. It flows through Havilah, where there is gold, the gold of the land of good. The land is good. The land is also known for a sweet, scented resin, the onyx stone. The second river is named Gihon. It flows through the land of Cush. The third river is named Hiddekel and flows east of Assyria. The fourth is Euphrates. God took the man and set him down in the garden of Eden to work the ground and keep it in order. God commanded the man, "You can eat from any tree in the garden, except from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Don't eat from it. The moment you eat from the tree, you're dead." God said, "It's not good for man to be alone. I'll make a helper, a companion." So God formed from the dirt of the ground all animals of the field and all the birds of the air. He brought them to the man to see what he would name them. Whatever the man called each living creature, that was their name. The man named the cattle, named the birds of the air, named the wild animals, but he didn't find a companion, a person, to keep him from being lonely. God put the man into deep sleep. As he slept, he removed one of his ribs and replaced it with flesh. God then used the rib that had been taken from the man to make the woman and presented her to the man. The man said, "Finally, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, name her woman, for she was made from man. Therefore a man leaves his father and mother and embraces his wife. They become one flesh. The two of them, the man and his wife, were naked, but they were not ashamed." The serpent, was clever, more clever than any of the other wild animals God had made. He spoke to the woman, "Do I understand that God told you not to eat from any tree in the garden?" The woman said to the serpent, "Not at all. We can eat from the trees in the garden. It's only about the tree in the middle of the garden that God said, 'Don't eat from it. Don't even touch it, or you'll die.'" The serpent told the woman, "You won't die. God knows the moment you eat from the tree, you'll really see what's going on. You'll be just like God, knowing everything, ranging all the way from good to evil." When the woman saw the tree looked like good eating and realized what she would get out of it, she would know everything. She took and ate the fruit and then gave some to her husband, and he ate. Immediately the two of them did see what's really going on, saw themselves naked. They sewed themselves fig leaves together as makeshift clothes for themselves. When they heard the sound of God strolling in the garden in the evening breeze, the man and his wife hid in the trees in the garden, hid from God. God called to the man, "Where are you?" He said, I heard you in the garden. I was afraid because I was naked and I hid, said Adam. God said, who told you you were naked? Did you eat from the tree that I told you not to eat from? The man said, the woman gave it to me. She gave me the fruit, and yes, I ate it. God said to the woman, what is this you've done? The woman said, the serpent seduced me, she said, and I ate. God told the serpent, you are cursed because of what you've done. God said, the man has become like one of us, capable of knowing everything, ranging from good to evil. What if now should we reach out and take fruit from the tree of life and eat and live forever? Never. This cannot happen. So God expelled, kicked out from the Garden of Eden, kicked Adam and Eve out of the garden for them to work the ground, the same ground that they were supposed to take care of. That He threw them out. And at the gate of the Garden of Eden, He put 2 angels to protect it and watch over it. Adam and Eve. So let's go over. Okay? So, God made Adam out of dirt. And then God made the Garden of Eden, put Adam in there to watch over. And then all the shrubs, and had the rivers, and the animals. And then Adam named each and every animal, the birds, all living creatures, animals. Adam named them. So, lions, tigers, salmon, worms, spiders, those names are what Adam named them. And with all these animals and creatures that Adam named, he still didn't have a companion, a friend for him. So God put Adam in a deep sleep. And when Adam was in deep sleep, God took a rib, one of his ribs, like the ribs we have, and He created a woman. So Adam wouldn't be alone. And they became husband and wife. And He called her Eve. So, and remember, God told Adam not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Eve was in the garden. Remember, the serpent, also a big snake, comes and talking to her. So, is it true that you're not supposed to eat any of the fruit in any of the garden? Is that my understanding? Remember, serpent was sneaky, tricky. And Eve's like, no, we can eat of all the fruit of any trees except for the tree in the middle, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. This is the only tree. But remember, God told Adam, and Adam is the one who told Eve that we're not supposed to eat from the tree of knowledge. And serpent, the sneaky, sly, trickery serpent snake he is, it's like, oh, really? Do you know why God said that you can't eat from that tree? Because if you did, you would know everything. So you'd be just like God. Just think of it. What you would know. So Eve, listening to what the serpent said, in her mind, got thinking, what would that be like if I took a bite of this fruit from the tree of good and evil? So Eve chose and made a choice to take a bite from this fruit from the tree of knowledge. And then she went into Adam, and Adam took a bite from the tree, the fruit, from the tree of knowledge. Then once they did, they saw everything really as it was. And remember, they were wearing no clothes at that time, because that's how they were created, and they didn't bother them. And then they saw they were naked, and they didn't like it. They were ashamed, and so they made clothes out of figs. Well, then they heard God walking through the garden, and so they hid behind the tree in the garden. And God is like, where are you? Where are you? And they come out from hiding. Did you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil? Well, yeah. Eve gave it to me, the apple, and so I took a bite. Yes, I took a bite. But Eve gave it to me. She did it. And God asked Eve, Eve, what did you do? Oh, it was the serpent. The serpent tricked me. He was sneaky. And so, yes, I did take a bite of the apple. The fruit. And so the snake, God told the snake, what he means by being cursed, that the snake would only be able to crawl on his belly from now on. That was where the snake would always be, was crawling on his belly. And Adam and Eve, for the choice that they made, their consequence for their choice, they were kicked out, removed from the Garden of Eden. Because of the choices they made, they were removed from the Garden of Eden. And they had to go work out in the fields themselves. So, Adam and Eve. Good choice, bad choice. They had two choices to make. And either way, choices, when you make a choice, good or bad, there's going to be consequences. Something is going to come out of it. So, Adam and Eve, did they make a good choice or a bad choice when they chose to take a bite of the fruit? Was it a good choice or a bad choice? It was a bad choice. And for choosing to make the bad choice their consequence, they were removed from the Garden of Eden. The garden had everything beautiful and everything created by God, that was, and the animals and the rivers. Because of their bad choice, God removed them from the Garden of Eden. So what about the choices you and I make? You have everything we do. From as soon as we get up, we have to make choices. Good choices or bad choices. Our good choices, our bad choices have consequences. Like, you get up and your mom or dad, somebody in your family, asks you to do something for them, and then later they come and ask you, well, did you clean your room as I asked? And you're like, yes, I did. But you really didn't clean your room. So you just told a lie. So telling a lie, is that a good choice or a bad choice? Lying, good choice or bad choice? Lying to anyone is a bad choice. And for lying, you get in trouble. A consequence could be, since you chose not to tell the truth, you chose to lie, your consequence may be, well, go in your room and think about it. You can't go outside. You can't go play with your friend. No, you cannot play your video games right now. Good choices, bad choices. Let's say you're with some friends and they're being mean, saying mean words to another kid. But you choose not to. You choose not to be calling names. Is that a good choice or a bad choice? Choosing not to call names on someone. Good choice, bad choice. That is a good choice. And you're making a good choice to come out of it. The good thing is you actually being like God, because you decided to be kind to someone, and you may become that person's friend. Good choices mean we're acting like God. Good choices, we're acting like God. Bad choices, we are not. And bad choices can move us away from God. Good choices move us closer to God. Bad choices can pull us back from God. So, each thing we do, we have a choice. Good choice or a bad choice. Now, if we make a bad choice, let's say you lied. Like you didn't clean your room, you didn't do your homework, and told your mom and dad, yes, I did. When you make a bad choice, do you know what you can do? You can change your bad choice from this to this. To do that, from your heart, you tell the person that you lied to or you hurt their feelings, you say, I'm sorry. I am really sorry for hurting you. I'm sorry for lying. And you tell God, I'm sorry for lying. So when we make a bad choice, from our heart, we just say, I am sorry. We are asking for what's called forgiveness. And we'll go from this sad face for making a bad choice to right on, way to go. You did end up making the right choice by asking for forgiveness. You said, I'm sorry. A true sorry from the heart. So yes, at times we all make bad choices, and then we have to deal with our consequences with making bad choices. But we can make our bad choice turn into a good choice by asking for forgiveness, by saying, I'm sorry. So that way we go from this sadness to way to go, right on. You made the decision to ask for forgiveness. And remember, each time you make a good choice, when you didn't clean your room and your mom and dad ask you, you're like, no, I didn't. I'm sorry. That's a good choice because you told the truth. And when you see other people being mean to someone else, some other kids, and you choose not to be mean, that is a good choice. And you're acting like God. You're being like God. Remember, we talked about being created in His image, that we're supposed to act like God because we're created like Him. That's a good choice. And that is right on a way to go. When we make a bad choice, we've done it. Yes, we did make a bad choice. Now we need to change that bad choice into a good choice by admitting that we did it, that we admit that we made a bad choice, and then asking for forgiveness. God forgives. We all sin. We all make bad choices. Bad choices are called a sin. And so each and every person around you and that you see have sin, do sin, because no one can make good choices all the time. It's just the way humans are. So, however, with bad choices and the sins, by asking forgiveness to the person we've done the bad choice to or hurt, and coming to God and saying, I am sorry, becomes a good choice. And God smiles on you and forgives you instantly. And it's like, it's okay. We'll work next time. We know we shouldn't lie. So remember, there's always choices. Good choice, bad choice. Good choices bring you closer. Remember, good choices bring you closer to God. And when we do a bad choice, remember to ask for forgiveness, to say sorry, to make it right. All right. So, I hope you all learned something from this lesson about choices. And each and every day, as soon as we get up, we have to make choices. Till next time, love you. Bye.